Welcome to the Market Cycle in Ascent. In this video, we'll look at prospects for a Massachusetts real estate market rebound in 2009 and beyond. It's quite clear that the last 4 years in Massachusetts real estate have been nothing but horrendous. Prices are down 20% since their peak back in 2005. But increasingly over the last few months, there have been optimistic news reports speculating that real estate has been doing better in Massachusetts and throughout the United States. Here's just a sampling of some of the upbeat real estate headlines from national and local news outlets. Especially noteworthy were very positive comments about Massachusetts real estate made by economist Carl Case during a recent interview on National Public Radio. Carl Case is a highly regarded economics professor at Wellesley College. He created the Case-Shiller Home Price Index, which tracks home values in 20 different metropolitan regions throughout the United States. During this nationally broadcast radio interview, Professor Case was very upbeat about Massachusetts real estate. He took pains to note that Boston now looks a lot like it did at the bottom of the last real estate market cycle. Let's take a look at what he meant. Here we'll look in detail at the last full real estate market cycle in Massachusetts, which ran from the end of the 1980s well into the 1990s. Here we are looking in the past, starting in 1988. Home prices peaked in that year and then entered a steep decline. Home values fell almost 17% over a 4-year period, hitting bottom in 1992. But look what happened thereafter. The market found bottom, and then slowly over a 5-year period, home prices fully recovered to exceed the levels set back in 1988. This is what Professor Carl Case was alluding to when he mentioned the real estate cycle. The last full real estate cycle in Massachusetts took 9 years from boom, bust, to eventual recovery. This chart shows that events in Boston were not unusual and do merit careful study. Other metropolitan areas in the United States, including New York City, San Francisco, and San Diego, likewise showed a similar pattern of boom, bust, and recovery that took between 8 and 10 years to play out. Here's the last real estate cycle expressed in months. As you see in this chart, it took 44 months from the market peak in 1988 to market bottom in 1992. Here we are in 2009, looking at a very similar pattern. We are now 42 months into our decline. We seem due for a market bottom. That's why Carl Case was so encouraged about Massachusetts real estate during that radio interview. He said we look a lot like we did at the bottom of the last market cycle. Let's look at the 1990s again. After 44 months of decline, the market found bottom, and then it took 65 months, or approximately 5 years, for home values to fully recover to the past highs. That's what Carl Case meant when he said Massachusetts was looking pretty good in 2009. We seem primed for some home price appreciation. So if the saying is true that the past is prelude, we might be looking at a very strong real estate buying opportunity. What might the housing market look like over the next 5 years? Is this a good time to buy? This chart looks at annual changes in home values on a percentage basis. Blue is the prior market cycle of the 1980s and 1990s. Red is the current market cycle we've been in since 2005. Look at the blue bars, how after 4 years of value declines, the Massachusetts real estate market recovered in the 5th year and entered a period of annual price increases. In depreciation ranged between 2 and 6% per annum, and over time that really added up. This chart shows you how home values will increase over the next 5 years if today's market cycle repeats the upswing of the last market cycle. You'll see there's a lot of money to be made. Now, no one can guarantee that the current market will repeat the market performance of the last cycle, but it stands to reason that if we're at market bottom, we are due for some price appreciation, and the long-suffering Massachusetts homeowner stands to benefit. We can all believe in a brighter tomorrow because of the market cycle. The market cycle remains an immutable feature of the industrial world's economies. Booms follow busts, and periods of strong growth eventually yield to another downturn as the market cycle starts anew. Over the centuries, despite natural disaster, war, and financial panic, nothing stays down forever. Asset values always recover as another round of prosperity commences. The time to buy real estate is now when home values are depressed. The market cycle eventually will make winners of those with the foresight and courage to buy during times of economic uncertainty. For additional information about the quality of life and home buying and real estate investment opportunities afforded by the Commonwealth of Massachusetts, please visit 02038.com.